Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday night land use meeting. Marnie, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Here.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Here.
Councilmember Anna Richards. Here. Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Here.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, Mr. Wishmeyer, would you lead us in the pledge?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Terry, did you drop your Swiffer? Oh, okay. All right. Addition for deletions and emergency, Steve? Anna? Deb? Don? Okay.
Well, we do have the continuation from the other night of the calendar. So that would be slipped in before tab A.
Okay. Real quick, I want to remind everybody that Terry and I are doing toys for the Keys kids. And we have 15 locations: Florida Keys Electric, Winn-Dixie, both of the CVS's, Trading Post, Centennial Bank. So I'm hoping everybody will help us out getting toys for families who are going to be struggling here in the Keys. Any information, you can talk to me. Anybody who wants to volunteer, yes, please. And Sue helped me with the flyer. Appreciate that very, very much. You did a great job. And again, it's going to people who are having a hard time down here, which we all understand. So please help us help them. So having said that, Marnie, can we open public comment?
We certainly can. First up, we have Mr. Wishmeyer.
Yes, Joe Wishmeyer, Alamorado. One thing I would like to remind everybody here about that big discussion that we had on Monday night with the baseball field. We are under no time crunch. Okay, supposedly this has been going on for 5 years, yet a lot of us have been in the dark until just recently. It's not just about artificial turf or grass. As our manager pointed out, a lot of it has to do with the agreements that we're going to make, and these agreements are going to be in place for a long time. It was very disheartening to hear that the school board didn't seem to be able to have time to meet with us before their meetings, but they expected us to give them an answer. That's not the way it works. They can't do anything without our approval. So if they don't want to take the time to meet with you all to try to hash out some of these very, very important items on the agreement, they've been playing on that field for 20 years. If they have to do it for one more year, I'm sorry, but somebody's dropping the ball, and we shouldn't be put in a situation where we have to make a rush decision and then regret this a couple of years down the road because we didn't make the proper agreement that we should have. So please make sure you take the time and you make sure that you all meet with the school board, and let's get this hashed out and get it taken care of. The second one that I find really disturbing, I brought it up also on Monday. I know you all have had 3 executive sessions now about this Ted Yates thing, and since then I've been going over all kinds of stuff, and I just can't understand how you can have somebody under a 1-year contract and not renew it, and yet this goes on and on and on and on. Somebody's dropping the ball here. So I think it should have been squashed in the beginning. Lord knows we've paid way too much money to people in the past that have been terminated or asked to leave, but not that was under contract and just for a non-renewal of contract. I wish we could get a closure to this, and I wish I could get an explanation on why it's gone on for so long. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Marnie?
Next is Sue Miller.
Sue Miller, Lower Matacumbe. I just have a question about the agenda itself, and I don't understand why changing the requirements for the now I can't even think of the word, the V-zone in our comprehensive plan requires quasi-judicial hearing. It seems to me that that's legislative, and so I don't know how it became quasi-judicial and who's representing whom if it is quasi-judicial. And then when we talk about quasi-judicial, one of the main differences in quasi-judicial, in my opinion, being interested in what the public has to say, is the fact that in quasi-judicial hearings, that the public watching on Zoom cannot testify or comment. And it seems to me that we've always allowed that until just recently. And the Supreme Court of Florida allows it. Many courts have remote hearings. We ourselves have a special master that meets remotely. And so I don't understand why we have that requirement. And I thank you very much.
Marnie, who's next?
I think we are set. Let me double check Zoom to make sure. Yes, we are all set.
Okay. I neglected to ask our attorney and our manager if you had anything you needed to say, discuss. John, anything from you?
I was just going to ask as a matter as a proud father, if you guys would, if it wouldn't be possible to maybe put the land use items in December on the December 9th meeting. My kids are both getting an award, and I'd like to be there. Normally I'd have one of my colleagues cover, but it happens to be our firm holiday party that day, so I'm probably not going to get many volunteers for that. So if it's not possible, obviously I'll be here. I did speak, I know Mr. Harris is representing one of the applicants. I did speak with him too, just to make sure it wasn't an issue with them and staff too. And at least from staff and Mr. Harris's side, it wasn't an issue.
Is that something that we can all agree on right now? Does anybody have any issues?
What kind of award?
Academic.
Come on, spill the beans.
So there's two. My son, his team, he's in robotics. His team came in first place in his region, and they're being recognized by the school district and by our town for that. And my daughter is a playwright, and she's the head playwright for a play, and they're being recognized for the work that they do for that as well. So my daughter's is outside of school. My son's is with his school.
So Jennifer, do we have a lot on the 11th that we could move it between?
Right now, we have 3 items. I'm not anticipating at the moment anything additional unless something gets continued from this evening. And Mr. Harris actually represents 2 of the 3, so I believe he's okay with that.
Okay, and Ron, are you good with it? Okay.
And there's not that much for the Tuesday meeting, the 9th meeting
I
at this
don't know what's
point?
on Tuesday.
Pack it on. I'd rather stay late one night than, yeah, have
So
2 meetings.
how do
I
we
would.
just give a thumbs up if we're good with
Yes.
it? And we can move it to the 9th? Is that how this should work?
Yeah, that works. We can just get guidance, and we can, because the agenda hasn't been published, the ads haven't been run or anything like that, so we can.
Steve?
Yeah, he wrote an email, I said it's fine by me.
Anna? Don? Deb?
Absolutely, I'm going to the awards.
Thank you
Okay.
all, I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. And Ron, do you have anything?
I do.
Oh, Mayor, just before we go on, Ron, just one more question for John. Just to answer the question that Sue was asking about quasi-judicial via Zoom, why is that in place? Is that a statute? What's?
It's so for quasi-judicial, the people testifying have to be sworn in. They can't be reading off of anything or have any evidence in front of them that we wouldn't be able to access, and they have to be subject to cross-examination. So because of those requirements, and they're strict if there's an appeal, we don't allow it via quasi-judicial because there's no way we can guarantee that happens. And I know a lot of people, as Ms. Miller brought up, that courts do allow it. But the difference with us and courts is the courts can hold you in contempt. So if they find that you didn't get properly sworn in, or if you had somebody helping you there or something, they can hold you in contempt or throw you in jail. Whereas we just simply have no recourse at all if somebody violated the requirements of quasi-judicial. So it's really just to protect the village so that if somebody appeals it, that there's not a procedural hiccup that could get something overturned and then have to come back for it.
So it blankets everybody, including council members that might be zooming in for quasi judicial?
That's correct. Yeah, actually, our council meeting procedures specifically state that, that council members who appear remotely can't participate or vote in quasi judicial.
Okay, thank you.
And I will say, this is my third year, and it's always been that way. And Deb, it was that way with you too before, right?
Yeah, I don't think I can remember a time that it hasn't been that. I know for sure, a lot of that got started during the COVID days, but I think it was in place before that too. But I'm having a hard time remembering that.
As I said, there's a resolution on it. It
Yes.
predates all of us. It was from 2021. So,
Yeah, that's the
like I said,
COVID time.
it
That was the
probably took
COVID
place
time.
before, but it was
Yeah.
formalized in 2021.
Yes.
And it lays it out in that resolution.
Okay, Mr. Saunders, would you like to go now?
Thank you, ma'am. As y'all know, this year I appointed 2 citizens task force. One was the Citizens Budget Review Task Force. The other was a task force on the baseball field. All 5 members of each 5-member panel did a great job. They were very helpful as far as work with me. They're task force, not committees. Obviously, the budget's done, and we're not planning on having any more budget review task force. And the baseball field is at the point now where I don't need more meetings. Certainly, everybody's welcome to continue giving me input, public, otherwise. But when you have them in creation, I think it creates some issues. And so I just wanted to formally announce that both task forces, from my standpoint, are no longer in effect. And if we need them, for example, next year's budget, if the council would like to have them next year, we can do them. But there's no reason to keep them in effect. So
They're dissolved,
basically both are dissolved.
Okay.
Because if 2 of them are having lunch, and somebody could question that.
Okay.
So I think at this point, it's better to just officially dissolve it because they were created by me. It didn't get the council was not officially involved with it. So I just thought it'd be safer just to say officially, both task forces, we thank them for their service. They did put a lot of hours in, so I do appreciate it. But at this point, I don't see the need to have them on the books anymore.
And now that they're dissolved, I will like to say that all of them did a great job. Both task forces, they put a lot of time and hours in there, and so they are officially released. Okay?
With our thanks.
With our thanks, okay? All right, so now, Marnie, let's go to the schedule.
Okay, so we have the 2026 meeting calendar in front of you. The dates that are tentatively on there in blue are the dates that are required by our council rules of procedure. So the second Thursday and the Tuesday immediately preceding. There are a few months where there may be conflicts. August, would be a conflict with the Florida League of Cities Conference. And one thing I particularly wanted to note was I would like a decision on the November council meetings. They're currently scheduled for the 10th and the 12th. That would have this council presiding over them. If the council would like to allow the new council to preside, the election is not certified until Tuesday, it's the 17th at 8 a.m. So it would be most likely, we would probably know who it's going to be before that point in time. And we can do what we did last time, which we had orientation sessions and got everybody up to speed. And then that day, we would swear in the new council and they would take effect. So it's really the will of council. I've seen it done both ways since I've been here, so.
Don, you want to say something?
So are you recommending that we move the 10th and 12th to the 17th and 19th?
No, she wants.
I'm not recommending
She wants to
anything.
know if we want the new council there on the 9th,
okay.
the 10th and the 12th. But if they're not certified, should they?
Can't swear
No,
them in.
you
They can't perform duties until the election is certified,
John?
so.
So you would move the meeting, would you not?
No.
You would either, if you kept the meeting on the 10th and the 12th, this council would meet. If you all wanted the new council to sit for the November meeting, you would bump it back to either the 17th or 19th. So
Why don't we-
depending on the date, will determine,
Don't forget it's
Who
Thanksgiving
sits on
too,
it?
the week, next week.
But it's
Why
so
don't we
far.
why don't we bump it to the 17th and 19th then?
So that gives them, it's getting certified that morning.
Yeah,
And they would set that night.
so they would sit that night, yeah,
To be ready.
right.
I would be ready
Well, that would
to swear
that would
them
give
in.
Marnie the week of the 9th to be able to go through and have, you know, orientation and that kind of thing. And they'd be able to pop in just ready to go to work and knowing what the heck they're doing.
Unless there was an extremely tight election, you know, we'll know the night of the election or for sure the next day. And what Marnie or the staff can do is provide books for both in case. Ahead
Yeah,
of
we
time.
have
I think that happened with
contingencies.
you.
It doesn't matter to me. Steve, do you have a preference? No. So what do we do here?
I would suggest we move it.
Yeah, 17 and to the 17th and 19th.
Okay, is that all right with you, Marnie?
Whatever
then-
works for council works for me.
And then with our charter, we could go ahead and, since the new council will be seated, you could, would you be able to elect a new mayor and vice mayor?
That'd be the first item of business.
Yep, on the 17th it would be, so.
Because
Isn't that done in
normally it
December?
says,
In
normally
non-
it
in-
says,
Yeah, in non-election years, it's supposed to happen no earlier than like the third Tuesday of November,
right.
which means our December meeting.
Right.
In election years, it's the first regular council meeting after the election's certified. So it would be on the 7th. If you move it to the 17th, the election would be on the 17th.
okay,
Whatever everybody
Okay.
wants, I'm good with, yeah? All
okay,
right,
so we're moving November,
So
right?
then the 17th and the 19th.
Yep.
Okay, so what else, Marty? Do you have anything else? Or does anybody have a conflict with the month here?
The only other
Deb?
thing I had was the Florida Keys Day in August. Or not Florida Keys Day,
Oh,
Florida
right.
League of Cities Conference.
And
So
when
we-
is that?
League
The
of Ci-
13th through the 15th of August.
So could
And-
we move August to the 18th and the 20th?
Normally, we had canceled the August meeting because of budget. Is that right?
That's
Yeah, you
correct.
can schedule them now and then we can,
Schedule and we could cancel them in case, I don't know.
So I have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Go.
Well, you cancel August, but because that puts your July and your September meeting a full 2 months apart, if you move July down, you said something about you needed a problem with July, but if you move July down a week or two,
Can't do. Okay.
well, I guess I don't get to finish my suggestion.
Go ahead and finish it, but I have a right to say no.
All right, then I'll just shut up.
Well, why don't we just?
I was just trying to figure out how not to have
That's
the
why I was
full
gonna say
8
tentatively
weeks.
schedule the August to 18
I
and
like,
20.
I like that idea, but
We could always
We
cancel
can
them if there's
cancel them
nothing
if we get-
pressing.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, 18, 20 August?
yeah,
Yeah.
that way there's nothing pressing.
Steve, did you have any issues?
I may have an issue with the February dates. It would be helpful to move it to the 17th and 19th. I can do the 10th, I just can't do the 12th. And then in March, if preferably move that from
Oh
10,
my
12 to
God.
17, 18.
So the 19th might start getting a little busy, because that's the, nautical is the,
Yeah.
getting
I don't-
cranking.
I don't wanna move it. I don't wanna move February. That's gonna be chaos.
so
Yeah, 'cause it-
how, which of the two can't you do?
I can't do the 12th, I can do the 10th.
Well, how about if we plan on just having one meeting on the 10th that month?
Well, I think it'll depend on what we.
Yeah, that's fine, I mean, we can,
Well-
it's fine.
If we plan for it. I was just trying to figure out the,
I know, it's gonna be.
If I know that there's no Thursday meeting, I can accommodate that.
It's up to them.
That's great, we can
do you
keep the
like
10th.
that idea?
Yeah.
Can you do the 10th
Mhm.
at least? Do you want to do one meeting that month, or you want to do?
Fine with that. I don't care.
Okay, so we're losing the 12th. Now it's just the 10th.
And then I'm going to be out of town March 10 and 12.
Oh, my God.
So you want to do 17, 19, is that what you're
Preferably.
saying?
I'm gonna be out of town the 15th through the 18th, so. Well,
Let's just keep the 10 and 12 then.
How about if we move it forward a week? The 3rd and the 5th? What's the second? What's meeting?
The 5th is Florida Keys, oh, sorry, that's a different month.
Oh, it's LPA meeting.
Don't worry about LPA, we can adjust those dates.
No, right. How about
Yeah, I mean,
March 3rd and 3rd?
I can move it
and
to 3, to the week earlier as
Does that
well.
work on yours? Don, does that work for you?
What's that?
The 3rd and the 5th of March?
I don't see, I didn't think we removed anything in March, so I don't know.
He's got a problem with the week. And she's got a problem with the second week. The next
about
week,
you?
third week.
No, because I planned the calendar, so,
No, do you have a problem with the 3rd and 5th?
no, but, I mean, it's only 2 weeks in between meetings.
I know.
I mean, these Tuesday
I
dates
would
were
have a
already booked,
problem
I
on the
planned it
night
out.
Moving it to the 19th.
Huh?
Yeah, I got a problem moving it to the 19th.
Well, she can't do that week.
No,
Anna can't do that week, so.
Okay.
you want to just? I know. I have a problem with the 4th and 5th, so.
Oh, well, okay. The 4th and the 5th.
They just leave it. the
Why don't
way
we
it
just leave it right now and then we can adjust? I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to leave it
All right.
10 and 12.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Any other month, Steve?
No,
July?
July's good. I
Okay.
checked it. The date's changed on it, so it's on the second week instead of the first week. So we're July 7 and 9 should be good.
Deb, do you have a month?
Tuesday, no, I'm fine. Tuesday, you said, or Monday, I'm sorry, you said you might have a conflict on some month?
No, we're
Marked
okay
it on
now,
my other
'cause
copy.
be-
No, he was saying that there was a couple of weeks that there was no meetings even planned, that he wasn't gonna be
Right.
here, so.
I highlighted out of these in case y'all wanted to
Okay,
move things
okay,
around. I
all right.
knew I was totally unavailable for those. I didn't
Okay,
even look at March.
Got it.
Anna, do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay, so just to recap, it's the 6th and the 8th in January, the 10th in February, 11th and 12th in March.
10 and 12.
Oh, yeah. 7th and 9th in April, 12th and 14th in May, 9th and 11th in June, 7th and 9th in July, 18 and 20 in August, 8th and 10th in September, 6 and 8 in October, 17 and 19 in November, and 8 and 10
December.
in December. Correct?
Bingo.
Are we all on the same page?
Yep.
Okay, well, that was fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
Marnie, can you provide us with a clean copy when we're done?
I will get to you in the morning.
No, no, that's
By
fine.
Monday.
You know, whenever, but
Just before
I
January.
put it at my calendar.
Just before January.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the resolutions, John?
Yes. Tab A is
Caught you off guard there, didn't I?
You did. A resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada, Village of Islands, Florida, approving residential building permit allocation system rankings and awarding residential building permit allocations for Q3 of 2025 and providing an effective date.
Jennifer?
Good evening, council. Tonight I'm here for your approval of your third quarter 2025 residential market rate building permit allocation. Pursuant to section 30-475 of the Code of Ordinances of Isla Mirada, the village council is required to take action after reviewing the building permit allocation system evaluation report. Pursuant to resolution 24-11-131, adopted November 19th, 2024, 2 market rate residential allocations were made available for 2025 through EPAS, and 1 market rate without land indication is available for distribution in Q3 of 2025. At the close of Q3 of 2025, 47 applications for market rate residential permit allocations were in the BPAS queue awaiting building permit allocation awards. The market rate residential applications have been evaluated, scored, and ranked according to the criteria outlined in Village Code Section 30-476. The application recommended for approval is listed below. Permit number PRSFC 2020201015 with 20 points was submitted by Gary and Beth Nichols on June 25th, 2021 at 10:36 a.m. for parcel ID 003889600-000100. The proposed resolution in your packet approves the residential BPAS rankings and award market rate building permit allocation for quarter 3 of 2025 pursuant to the Village Code, Section 30-476. At this time, we approve the resolution as proposed, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Anybody have anything for Jennifer before I open public comment? Anybody? No? Okay. Marnie?
Yes, Gary and Beth Nichols.
We all just really came to say hi. I haven't seen everybody in a long time. This has been a long process, even though that says 2021. It was actually another 5 or 6 years before that. We tried to do owner-builders, so we went back and forth and back and forth. And basically, it was my dad's lot and my lot. My dad's in pretty poor shape, so he had power of attorney, so now it's my lot. But the reality of the situation is we're taking care of him up at the Palace Gardens, and it's about $10,000 a month to maintain his quality of life. So this is very important to our family to support my father. It's the one thing that we could probably liquidate. I would love to have built a house next to him. That's why originally we were trying to get the lot. My dad, one of his big wishes and the bucket list was that we build a house next to him, and either myself or my daughters, and we have 2 daughters and their families, they live next door to us. One lives in only a 2-1, and we were hoping to be able to build a house for them to live in our house, and we would, that actually Don Horton built my house, by the way. The one we're staying in.
40 years ago.
40 years ago, yes.
And it's still standing?
So the plan was we were gonna have a new house for the old people. We'd be looking at the ocean, which would have been really cool. But anyway, at this point, finances and everything, it's been a little bit of a downturn in the commercial fishing business we've been doing for 53 years. And her and I started that when she was 15 and I was 16, so we've been doing it 53 years. And we've been married almost the same. We've been together all that time. But anyway, I just hope that, you consider that and approving that, and that would make our day. My dad was here a year and a half ago, by the way, sitting in that chair there. He was asleep most of the time. And poor guy,
I remember.
I think you almost killed him.
It was all night, too. It was a long
Right after that, I
meeting.
ended up, he's in the hospital a lot, but now we got him in a really safe, great place. Palace Gardens is an awesome place. It's like this Ritz-Carlton of places. But it is pricey, but they take care of them medically super, and they also stimulate them with things to do. And that's about all I got to say. And this man right here, he's my hero. The only reason I'm a commercial fisherman today is because of him.
Who are we talking?
Because he helped with us commercial fishermen have the first fisherman-derived limited entry system in the United States in commercial fishing. And that basically put up our lobster traps, gave it a value, and now we buy pieces of stock. We've also reduced our lobster traps in half. Over the last 20 years, we've gone from 1 million traps down to 425,000 traps. We're going to go to 400,000 and stop on that. On the stone crabs, we also have limited entry. We've gone from 2 million, we're down to 900,000. So the environment's done good, and every time I hear Ron on his radio shows and stuff, I remember the days he helped us walk through the halls of Tallahassee. So my hat's off to you, of course, and my family have continued our first steps. My daughters, my son-in-laws, everybody's in the business. And you want to say something?
No, you said it all.
Oh, come on. She never
You
talks.
said, I do, but no, I just hope you pass it and give it to us because we could really use it. And he pretty much said,
You know what you've been through. You've been through a lot.
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you
we have.
very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you very much and I hope you consider.
Marnie, is
Us
there
and what we
anybody
need.
else?
No, there is not.
Okay, council?
Move to approve.
Anybody have anything else?
I'll second.
Okay, Marnie, call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Don Horton,
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman,
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank
You've been through a
you
lot.
so
Thank you very
very
It's been
much.
a long time.
I know it
Thank
is.
you.
Thank you.
We would love to hear you all have your meeting, but I gotta go crab in
come
the
on,
floor.
No,
If anybody wants to go
You
on the
can
boat
sit
at
in that front
3:30 in the
row.
morning, we get on the boat, we leave at 4. So,
I figured you can bring stone crab claws for everybody.
you know what? You come by.
Oh,
Cover that mic.
Seriously, go buy
Cover that
Ulysses at
mic.
Casa Mar and you can get some for dinner. My price is in the paper, I just put it in today, $14 on mediums, $18 on large. You're not gonna find that ever.
No, you
again.
don't.
Never had to go that low, but the market's that bad. But I can't,
sorry.
literally, I've been doing this 53 years and I saw my own people, it's a very tough market for it.
Yeah, it is.
But we're catching a lot of crab, so that's a good thing too.
Well, that's good.
Well,
Have a nice evening.
congratulations, you guys, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay,
Appreciate it.
John.
Yep. Tab B is a resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada, Village of Islands, Florida, approving non-residential building permit allocation system rankings and awarding non-residential building permit allocations for Q3 of 2025 and providing for an effective date.
Jennifer?
Good evening, council. Again, we're here for the approval of the third quarter 2025 non-residential building permit allocations. Pursuant to Village Code Section 30-475, the Village Council is required to act after reviewing the building permit allocation system evaluation report. The remaining available total of non-residential square feet for allocation in 2025 is 41,626 square feet. This is the second allocation for 2025. There is one application for non-residential BPAS in the queue awaiting an award for Q3. The proposed resolution approves the non-residential building permit allocation system ranking and awards pursuant to Comprehensive Plan Policy 1-3.1.11 and Village Code Section 30-476. The permit in the queue is PRCOB 2025-00765 for Native Storage LLC. Date of application was 9/29/25 on parcel number 00425285990-000000, and they're requesting 1,632 square feet. At this time, staff would recommend approval, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Anyone have anything for Jennifer? Deb? Don? No? Okay, Marnie, public comment?
We have no one.
Okay, council?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay. Barney?
Councilmember Deb Gillis,
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton,
Yes,
and Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Okay, John, moving on to C.
Tab C is a resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada, Village of Islands, Florida, establishing the total amount of non-residential floor area and residential dwelling units, quarterly allocations, and the distribution of allocations between categories of the building permit allocation system for 2026 and providing for an effective date.
Jennifer?
So this is the annual distribution of our building permit allocation system allocations for 2026. Your attached resolution proposes the following distribution schedule. For non-residential BPAS allocations is 47,164 square feet. It shall be allocated in Q1 of 2026 with unused allocations rolling over into each subsequent quarter for distribution. This amount reflects the total square footage available being rolled over from 2025, which after the previous award is 39,994, plus the additional 7,170 provided for in our comprehensive plan in 2026. There's one market rate housing allocation available for distribution in 2026. This resolution proposes to distribute the remaining allocation in Q1. And there are 84 affordable housing allocations available for distribution in 2026. 54 of these allocations are rolled over from 2025, and there are 30 additional as provided for in our comprehensive plan. At this time, staff recommends approval of the resolution. I'm here if you have any questions.
Anybody have anything for Jennifer? Okay, did you?
I do.
Go ahead.
I do. So we have the one that's rolling, that is recommended for Q1. Should it be rolled to Q2? Does anybody have any desire to do that?
Why?
Why?
To draw out when we're out of allocations.
It's already gonna be drawn out. We're only doing one.
But it adds another quarter for us to potentially get the ones that are looming in Tallahassee, to get the new ones before we actually run it. I don't think that'll happen, but it's just a thought. I'm cool with it either way.
I don't see a reason to kick the can. You either have them
Okay.
or we don't,
Yeah.
right?
It's only
Yeah, no,
related
no,
to takings.
I get it. Oh,
Only related to takings. I don't really want to kick the can. I don't, but there's that argument.
Anybody else have anything before we open public comment?
No.
You two want to keep discussing, or we're good for public comment first?
public comment.
Okay, go ahead, Marnie. Anybody?
We do not have anyone for public
Well,
comment.
that didn't help.
It ate up a little time.
That didn't do any good. All right, then back to council then. Do I have a motion or more discussion? What do you guys want to do?
It's only a thought. I don't care one way or the other, actually.
I mean, I'm good with the way it is, so.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, well, I need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, okay,
you go.
Marnie, call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay, John, D.
Tab D is an ordinance for Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, amending Chapter 30, Land Development Regulations, Article 3, Decision-Making and Other Administrative Bodies, Division 3, Local Planning Agencies, Section 30-103 of the Village Code, relating to appointment, removal, terms, and vacancies, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. This is an ordinance on second reading. I can go through it if you'd like, but if you recall, this was just to make their terms consistent with the other boards.
Okay, Jennifer, do you want to say anything? Are we good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, does council, any discussion? You want to do public comment, Marnie?
Yes, Sue Miller would like to speak.
Sue Miller, Lower Matacumbe. My only comment is that you changed the procedures for committees, hoping to get more turnover in the committee membership so that more people would have an opportunity to serve on the committees. And it seems strange that now, after you made that decision, that now you're trying to eliminate term limits to make it easier for the same people to stay. Thank you.
Anybody else, Marnie?
No, ma'am.
Okay, council, discussion? Anybody have anything?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Marnie?
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
John, E.
E is also an ordinance on second reading. It's an ordinance of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, amending Chapter 30, Land Development Regulations, Article 5, Schedule of Districts and Use, Schedule of District Use and Development Standards, Division 7, Off-Street Parking, Loading and Driveway Standards, Section 30-851 of the Village Code relating to backing movements or other maneuvering within a street right-of-way, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, and providing for an effective date. Again, we've talked about this a number of times. It's second reading. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Oh, anybody? And Jennifer, you have nothing, okay. Marnie? Oh, she's there, mic off. Okay, any public comment?
Yes, Sue Miller would like to speak.
Sue Miller, I feel like Van Cadenhead.
You don't look like them, though.
Oh, don't say that. Don't.
The Overseas Highway, a scenic highway, well, it used to be scenic until our businesses ran out of required parking. Now driving through Isla Mirada sometimes makes me feel like I'm navigating a city parking lot. I hate that the local government must resolve so many parking issues. But this ordinance is really just about safety, not about providing or not providing parking. Let's start by acknowledging that backing up isn't a natural thing to do. Backing up causes more than its share of crashes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that 292 pedestrians and cyclists are killed and 18,000 injured each year from backup crashes. When we're talking about backing into or out of a parking spot, backing up inherently has increased risks. The parking experts, driving instructors, fleet managers AAA, the International Parking Institute, parking lot architects all say that backing in is better. Here's why. When we back in, we drive past the parking spot first, giving an opportunity to make sure it's clear. And when it's time to pull out, we have much better visibility to spot cars and people. Backup cameras are helpful if you have them, but they're not perfect at identifying pedestrians or to spot a vehicle driving 45 miles an hour as they approach you. Backing in is safer than backing out. So maybe a sign requiring back-in parking only would be a safer solution, not a change in the code.
She made a little sign.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Marnie, anybody else?
Double checking Zoom, but I don't believe so. No, there's no one else. I thought I put a card in. Oh, I'm sorry, did you? Mr. Wishmeyer would like to speak.
Well, if you didn't, come on out.
If I did, I'll fill one out now. My concern, as I alluded to on the first reading of this, was we've been doing this ever since keys were around. We haven't had a problem. We haven't had to change the code, make ordinances. We haven't had to do any of that. I'm afraid that all this has come up because of the parking situation at Anglers Reef. And I'm afraid that we can't apply for a new parking because the code does not allow for it. So by changing this code is going to help clear the path for the Anglers Way. I hope that's not the case because I am certainly opposed to doing away with more greenery. So I hope you consider that. Thank you.
Marnie, anybody else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, council discussion? Anybody, everybody wants to say something. Don, go ahead, I'll start with you.
I think this is something that's long overdue. The village put in parking in the Arts District all on their own, where it backs on, even though it's backing at an angle, you're still backing onto the old road. As I think of driving through downtown Islamorada, I think of that entire area next to you. I think of the Green Turtle, Islamorada Ace, Village Gourmet, Trading Post, and so many other businesses that I think of the brewery. I think of Pasta's area. I think of Marlin Jewelry. I think of the old original Manny and Isa's, and which some of y'all may know where that's at or not, but it's there. and it's a real estate company now, and all of that area by the Moose, and I think this is long overdue to help all of these parking issues that we've had. Many years ago, I even wrote a parking ordinance and rendered it to one of our past planning directors that did this. So this is long overdue. I'm glad to see it happen finally.
All right, Anna, anything?
I'm good. No, it's just clean up, like he said. We're just
Yeah.
cleaning up our own rules.
Yeah, to me, it sounds like we're just, it's a compliance issue. You know, we're already doing it, and it's not being enforced, so we're just cleaning it up, essentially. Is that right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to allow it, we should allow it in the code. Yeah.
Deb, do you want to say something?
And the only thing I have to say about it is that maybe Sue makes a point is that we need to write it that they back in and pull out instead of pulling in and backing out. You look like you had a comment about
No,
that.
I was going to say, it's also, any parking plan is still subject to safety review by the village. So if it's an unsafe, like say it's an unsafe parking corner or something like that, it would still be, even though it's permitted, it still has to be permitted in a safe manner. So,
So are you saying-
those are issues that staff would.
So you're saying that in selected areas, it could be a back-in only?
There could be, yeah, depending on what the
yeah.
layout of the area might be. There
Okay.
could be some limitations as to their ability, because it is still, safety is still obviously important as well.
Right, and this does, just as a repeat, this does not include backing directly onto US 1, right? Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
I think also would agree with Dawn, this is long overdue. There are places where you have no choice but almost to back into US one. It's just the way the keys are, and it's not gonna change. I agree, we just need to clean it up, so. Do I have a motion, or
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Marnie?
Vice Mayor Don Horton,
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards,
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman,
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
yes,
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Okay, John?
All right, we are into the quasi judicial section. Tonight, that's tabs F through N. Please be advised the following agenda items are quasi judicial in nature. If you wish to comment on these items, please inform the village clerk by filling out the available sign-up form. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. As a reminder, testimony in quasi judicial items must be in person. Zoom testimony is not permitted. These proceedings will be handled in accordance with the village code requirements. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony shall be disregarded. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record along with the village code and comprehensive plan. Any correspondence that was received by the village staff is included in the file and part of the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures in section 30-256 of the village code may be obtained from the village clerk. Tonight, the items as mentioned are tabs F through N. At this time, I'd like to ask anyone who intends to speak on any of the quasi-judicial items to please raise your hand to be sworn in by the clerk. Again, this is tabs F through N.
In the matter in which you are about to give testimony, do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? The witnesses have been sworn.
Madam Mayor, the first item is tab F. That is resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request of property owner Samuel L. Burston for administrative relief from the village building permit allocation system for property located at 129 Porto Vista Court, Lower Matacumbe, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal of the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date. Before we begin, if you please just disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with the applicant or anyone else. Again, this is tab F, and please include the person whether the person represented any group or entity, as well as the substance of the subject matter as you recall.
Deb?
just Ty Harris.
Dawn?
Ty Harris and Mr. Burns to vote about the topic.
Anna?
Ty Harris.
Steve?
None.
None. Okay. All right, then. Jennifer?
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. Here this evening to discuss the administrative relief application for 129 Porto Vista Court. Samuel Burston, the applicant, has applied for administrative relief pursuant to Section 30-477 of the Code of Ordinances of Islamorada Village of Islands. Village Code Section 30-477 requires that a public hearing be held during which the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the standard procedures, standards, and criteria found within Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553, beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 129 Porto Vista Court and legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution attached. The applicant was entered into the building permit allocation system on August 2nd, 2021. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of Q3 of 2025, the application was ranked second with 20 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code 30-477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on October 1st, 2025 and 12 p.m. on January 29th, 2026. The applicant submitted the application for administrative relief on October 1st, 2025. The proposed development is for one single-family, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, approximately 1,140 square feet. The site is approximately 8,436 square feet with allowed clearing mitigation based on habitat. The full analysis of the administrative relief request is in your packet. Additional information provided by the applicant. The property owner has complied with all requirements of the building permit application system. The building permit application system application has not been withdrawn at any time. The property owner has not applied for a deferral, The applicant, as stated, is seeking an allocation award. Remedies offered under Code Section 30-477F, at the conclusion of the public hearing, the village council may take any or the combination of the following actions. Grant the applicant an allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period. Offer to purchase the property at its fair market value, or suggest any such other relief as may be necessary and appropriate. And the village currently has 17 allocations available for administrative relief. And at this time, staff recommends awarding the administrative relief allocation to 129 Porto Vista Court. And I'm here if you have any additional questions.
Okay, but anybody have anything for Jennifer before Mr. Harris goes? Okay.
Good evening. My first time up all night. Ty Harris is the law firm of Ty Harris, PA, Plantation Key. I really don't have much to say about this one. It's pretty straightforward, but there is an interesting thing that I thought of note is worth mentioning. When I talked to Mr. Burson about this application, he was right on the cusp of getting an award last year and was one of the folks bumped when we did the lot donation. And normally when you talk to people that get bumped on the list, they're not very happy. But when he understood that meant that other lots that were wooded were going to be never developed because they were part of the lot donation program, he said he didn't mind waiting a little bit, and he was happy that the village actually acquired those lots. And so I thought that was kind of a unique response, and I wanted to pass that on because it kind of shows the character of this gentleman. And he's been waiting a long time to do this. This is his retirement home. He's really ready to get going. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Anybody have anything for Ty before we go for all in favor for? No? All right, so Marnie, anybody for?
We have no one at all.
Okay, then we go to not in favor?
No.
Okay, council? Anybody have anything? Discussion? Don, anything with you? Deb?
Just motion to approve.
I'll second.
Marnie, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
And motion passes 5-0.
Okay. John, we're going to G.
Yep, G is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada, Village of Islands, Florida, concerning the request by Ty Harris, PA, on behalf of Mazal 233 LLC for administrative relief from the Village Building Permit Allocation System for property located at 166 Sebring Drive, Plantation Key, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal to the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date. And again, before we begin, Council, if you will disclose any ex parte communications you may have had.
Deb?
Ty Harris.
Don?
Ty Harris and John Gray.
Ty Harris.
Just a text received from Ty Harris.
And for me, Ty Harris. Okay.
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada, here this evening to discuss the administrative relief application for 166 Sebring Drive. Ty Harris, the applicant, has applied for administrative relief pursuant to Section 30-477, the Code and Ordinances of Islamorada, Village of Islands. The Village Code, Section 30-477, requires that a public hearing be held during which the Village Council of Islamorada shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the procedures, standards, and criteria found within the Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553, beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 166 Sebring Drive and legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution as attached. The applicant was entered into the building permit allocation system on September 27th, 2021. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of Q3, the application was ranked 30th with 17 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code Section 30-477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on October 1st, 2025, and 12 p.m. on January 29th, 2026. The applicant submitted the application for administrative relief on October 1st, 2025. The proposed development is one single-family 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, approximately 2,602 square feet. The site is approximately 6,600 square feet with allowed clearing of 3,300 square feet and mitigation based on habitat. Again, the analysis is in your packet. The additional information provided by the applicant, the property owner has complied with all requirements of the building permit allocation system. The BPAS application has not been withdrawn at any time, and the property owner has not applied for a deferral. Remedies offered under the code section 30-477F. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the village council may take any or the combination of the following actions. Grant the application and allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period, or extended pro rata over several succeeding allocation periods. Offer to purchase the property at its fair market value, or suggest other such relief as may be necessary and appropriate. The village currently has 16 allocations available for administrative relief. And at this time, the staff recommends approval of the administrative relief for 166 Sebring Drive. If you have any questions, I'm here for your.
Did you want to say something before Ty gets up?
Me?
No, both of you guys.
I had a question for Jennifer, but I
Okay.
could wait for Ty. That's fine.
Okay, go ahead, Ty.
Good evening, everybody. Again, Ty Harris, Plantation Key. This is my client, and some questions were asked earlier this week about who they are and what they're proposing to do. So, just like all of us, Steve's a fisherman, Anna's a surveyor, the mayor has a flower shop. You know, everybody's got a business and everybody's got a job, right? That's how we put bread on the table. My client is a small home builder, more known for doing projects up in Key Largo, but acquired these two lots just like every other little home builder that we have in the Keys. And they're proposing to build a house on this lot. I've heard that some of the neighbors weren't too happy about that. And so I understand that when you looked at a wooded lot for a long time, you would really like it to stay wooded lot. Got it. But if you look at the staff report, I found something that I thought was really important to address, which is, you know, it's not always about what the applicant's expectations are. What's unique about these applications is there's a section where there's an analysis of what the neighbors should expect. And I just wanted to read that to you because I think it goes a long way in formulating that these folks have done everything right. Number 7 in the analysis says, what were the reasonable expectations of the neighboring landowners under Florida common law? And this was the response from staff. Neighboring landowners have the reasonable expectation that the land surrounding them will be developed in a character with the existing development and land use and zoning regulations. The property is currently undeveloped. It is reasonable to assume that the neighboring landowners could expect the development of a single-family dwelling unit, but only after demonstration of compliance with the applicable regulations and the receipt of the required allocation through BPAS. And as Jennifer's pointed out, they've done everything they're supposed to do. They're not any different than any other applicant that comes up here. They're building on a residentially zoned lot that's zoned R1 in a platted subdivision. And as much as we'd all like to keep all of our green spaces that are there, we also have to recognize that people have a right to build a single-family house. And I know we're running out of allocations and we're getting to the end, but this is what the end looks like. And with that, I respectfully request that you grant them their allocation just like anybody else that's complied with the requirements. Thank you.
Don, you want to ask Jennifer your question now?
I can, sure. Jennifer, I noticed on all these applications, you put the square footage of the house. And I remember us having an issue with a TDR and the square footage of a house and that kind of thing. You just simply put the square footage on these as far as what the just to describe the application.
That's correct. I
And
pulled it
so
from
if
the
an
building
amendment was to
permit.
be made to make this house, 10 square feet bigger or something, that wouldn't have a problem with the allocation.
No, sir, that's not a hard and fast. I pulled that from the building permit application that's been submitted to the department at this time, but if an allocation award is granted, they will have to go back and tweak their plans, adjust their plans. In some cases, come up to compliance with current building code, so that might adjust their plans. So that number may and likely will change over time.
And the code says that you can make a change to those, provided that it doesn't decrease the points that they
Correct.
originally.
They have to maintain whatever they earned points for, they have to maintain those same things.
Okay, I just kind of wanted that on the record. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so nobody has anything else? We'll go for on favor.
There are none.
Are you in favor of it?
He's in
Well, that's the
They're-
next one.
yeah, they're
Favor goes
calling.
first. Yeah, favor goes first. Okay, so in favor?
So there is no one to speak.
Okay, now, not in favor.
Yes, Donnie Lang.
Yeah, my name's Donnie Lang. Don knows me. Used to work with him many years ago.
Many years ago.
Back in this neighborhood, it's a street or two away from me. There are two administrative reliefs side by side being heard tonight. This is the first 166. The adjoining lot is 170. The neighborhood has gotten used to having some blocks of woods in there, some nice hammock. This is a nice hammock lot, as is the address at 170. I have a feeling you guys are going to grant a allocation on this one. I would like you to consider possibly an alternative is combine the two lots for one dwelling unit. That would make the density a little bit better and leave a lot more hammock. If that's not a possibility, I'm going to throw another one out there. You have a roughly, I think it is a 50% clearing allowance, so that's about 3,300 square feet. I've been around the Keys long enough to know how things happen when you have a clearing allowance, and I would proffer that you would consider requiring a conservation easement be recorded to make sure that the hammock areas are preserved, not just during the building site, or during construction, but 10 years down the road, that it's still going to remain 50% hammock in there. I really hate to see more development in the neighborhood there. This is a beautiful little block of very dense native vegetation. These lots normally, in normal times, would probably not get an allocation, but I have a feeling you don't have the budget to purchase these things, so that's probably going to be the alternative right here. So don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I would like to consider either combining the two lots for one dwelling unit, or if that's not even a practical one, consider doing at least a conservation easement with a recorded easement for the 3,300 square feet per lot. I'm not going to speak on the second lot. They're 6 of one, half dozen of the other. So I'm speaking for both lots, same comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donnie.
Thank you, Marnie. Is there anyone else not in favor?
No. that's it.
Okay, council?
Jennifer, is that not already a requirement that the 3,300 square feet or whatever is not cleared go into a conservation easement?
I believe there is a requirement for conservation
And the
restriction on
conservation
this.
easement would be put into public records?
That is correct.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll agree on the record. I mean, that
It's a requirement.
adds to the value of the property to be beautiful like that, and we have no problem putting a conservation easement either on this lot or on the other lot for the area that's not developed.
And then, so after everything is cleared, then a survey is made, and that survey shows the limits of the conservation easement, and it's supposed to remain in that conservation easement in perpetuity.
That's correct.
I move to approve.
Well, I live in that neighborhood, and they are two beautiful lots. I'm sorry, but they are. And they're solid wood. I went by there the other day, and, but we're back to property rights situation. I'm okay with the conservation of easement, not on this one, but the one we're gonna hear next. So I just wanted to get that out there, that I think if we can protect some hammock, because it is a beautiful couple lots, I would be okay with that.
They're gonna be required to
I
do
know,
GOSIAs
but
on both
We
lots,
just
not
want-
just one of them.
We just wanted to get that out there.
I know, I'm saying it's gonna be on both of them, though.
But
It's
it's
not
on
gonna
both
be,
lots,
yeah, it's gonna be on both lots.
Mhm.
They're gonna be required to do a GOSIA.
Okay, so you made a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Marnie?
Vice Mayor Don Horton?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
The motion passes 5-0.
Okay, moving on to H, which is the other piece of property.
H is a resolution of the Village Council of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request by Ty Harris, PA, on behalf of Mazal 233 LLC for administrative relief from the village building permit allocation system for property located at 170 Sebring Drive, Plantation Key, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal to the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date. Council, if you can please disclose any ex parte communications as well, and then I'll have one thing to say before we turn it over to Jennifer.
Ty Harris?
Ty Harris and John Gray.
Ty Harris?
Ty Harris.
Ty Harris, same as before.
The gentleman before who spoke in opposition had indicated he wasn't going to speak again, but he had the same opposition to this item. If you all want to incorporate the prior testimony from from tab H, I would recommend that you make a motion to incorporate the testimony from tab H into tab I. That way it's part of our record.
Okay, can I make the
No,
motion to do
it's,
it?
it's, you've got the wrong letter.
Oh.
It's,
It's
G, tab G
G.
to tab H. Thank you, sorry.
Can I make the motion? Do I
And
have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay. Do we call the roll, please, Marnie?
Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so,
Thank you, Council. Good evening. Jennifer DeBobrian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. We're here this evening for the administrative relief application for 170 Sebring Drive. Ty Harris, PA, is the applicant, and he has applied for administrative relief pursuant to Section 30-477 of the Code of Ordinance of the Islamorada Village of Islands. Village Code Section 30-477 requires that a public hearing be held, during which the Village Council of Islamorada shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the procedures, standards, and criteria found in Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553, beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 170 Sebring Drive and legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution as attached to your packet. The application was entered into the building permit allocation system on September 27, 2001. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of Q3 of 2025, the application was ranked 31st with 17 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code Section 30-477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on October 1st, 2025, and 12 p.m. on January 29th, 2026. The applicant submitted an application for administrative relief on October 1st, 2025. The proposed development is one single-family 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, approximately 2,602 square feet. The site is approximately 6,600 square feet with allowed clearing of 3,300 square feet and mitigation based on habitat. Again, the analysis is in your packet. Additional information provided by the applicant. The property owner has complied with all requirements of the building permit allocation system. The BPAS allocation has not been withdrawn at any time, and the property owner has not been applied for deferral. Remedies offered under the Code Section 30-477F. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Village Council may take any or a combination of the following actions. Grant the applicant an allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period, or extended pro rata over several succeeding allocation periods. Offer to purchase the property at fair market value. Suggest such offer of relief as may be necessary and appropriate. The Village Council currently has 15 allocations available for administrative relief. And at this time, staff recommends awarding an administrative relief allocation to 170 Sebring Drive, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Okay, anything for Jennifer before Mr. Harris speaks? Okay,
I'm just going to incorporate the comments from the previous application and make the same commitment related to the conservation easement. Thank you.
okay. Marnie, in favor?
None?
And we already have moved
Mr.
the
Lang?
gentleman's comment to this one? So is there anyone else?
No, there's not.
I don't think I signed up, but I'll fill out a form.
Oh,
I
you
did
s-
not sign up for this one.
So are you not in favor?
Well, yeah, I'm not, and I just want to make a comment because I've seen these conservation easements in the past, and they have not been adhered to. So how do we make sure that these people are actually going to follow through? You look at Wren Street, those lots were like totally cleared out. I remember there was one, a beach property that had a turtle beach that was the berm that was supposed to be done. But we don't check up on any of this stuff. So it's great to have conservation easements, but we need to follow up to make sure that they follow through. That's the only comment I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Marnie, anyone else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, council, anybody have anything to say?
I agree with Joe.
What do you agree with?
I agree that that we do need to have a more follow-up on, anytime we put a restriction on any piece of property for whatever the reason is, that we should probably have, you know, some type of additional follow-up. And there's reasonable, in our code, there's reasonable ways to be able to do that. I just think that, I think we need to keep a little closer eye on some of these hammocks, especially the ones that are high-quality hammocks that we're allowing, you know, 10 or 50% clearing, that's all. That's all.
I agree with you. And who would that fall upon, Jennifer, to reinforce making sure the conservation easement?
So we do the best we can follow up, but as you probably all know, our resources are limited, and we will respond to any complaints that are filed in the office. Our village biologist will always go out, address any complaints, and follow up with those. We don't have the staffing and the resources to just drive around the village and look for things and do that. So, I mean, I'm happy to take additional staff if the council wants to to give me more people, but it's just, you know, if people are aware that it's happening in your neighborhoods, or you know of somebody that's violating restrictions, please feel free to call the code department, and we are proactive once we get complaints, and we do take those seriously.
And again, I have had a 30-foot natural border around one of my buildings forever, and it's still thick as anything. So it's to be a good person as well, to make sure you do it. But I've also seen properties where it was wooded, and now I can see the road, and now, so people do that. So I do encourage, if you do see it going on, you have to call Jennifer.
Absolutely,
know-
call Jennifer.
She loves phone calls.
I can though say that not too long ago, there was a piece of property that had a conservation easement and some clearing took place, and the village was on that. And they had to do a considerable amount of mitigation planting in order to bring that back into compliance with the planting code and all. It was extremely costly, so they do it. Sometimes it's not as easily seen in the backyard of somebody's house, and it's pretty disruptive to go and knock on the door. I think the code specifically says that you gotta give a certain notice of amount of time, and you just don't want government walking onto your house and saying, I wanna check your backyard, but if there's a complaint, they'll follow up on that. But there was recently a pretty big mitigation that took place too, so
Yeah,
they're on it.
It's easy for us if it's on US 1 or the old road, you know, obviously we can catch those. And we actually, you just reminded me today, we had somebody clearing in the Gosia area that we were able to do a stop work order, and we'll calculate the mitigation over the weekend and get them taken care of this next week. But yeah, so we do that when we see it. But to your point, you know, when they're in a neighborhood, you know, and they're in the backyard or sometimes behind gated driveways, it's more difficult.
It is, yeah, they do it though.
Deb, did you want to say something?
No, I'm sorry, I was just
Anybody
waiting.
else? No?
No, I know that they do it. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen them, people get hit with the mitigation pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion? Are we,
Are we there?
I
I'll
think
make
so.
the motion to approve.
do I have a second?
Second?
Marnie, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
John, I can't believe we're halfway done.
I know, it's great. Tab I is a resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, concerning the request by AJ and Pamela Good for administrative relief from the village building permit allocation system for property located at 110 Sunset Drive, Lower Matacumbe, as legally described in Exhibit A, providing for transmittal to the Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date.
Jennifer. Oh, that's right.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
I was gonna
Please,
get him
I
too.
know. I was thinking about how quick we're going, I guess.
I had him all excited.
Yeah, if you would please disclose any ex parte communications you may have had.
None. Don?
No one on this one, how about that?
None for me.
None for me.
None.
Okay. Now we can go on.
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBoer, Planning Director for the Village of Isla Mirada. We're here today to discuss the administrative relief for 110 Sunset Drive. AJ and Pamela Goad have applied for administrative relief pursuant to Section 30-477 of the Code of Ordinances of Isla Mirada. The Village Code, Section 30-477, requires that a public hearing be held during which the Village Council shall consider all evidence presented regarding the application and shall follow the procedures, standards, and criteria found within Code Sections 30-552 and 30-553, beneficial use. The burden of proof shall be on the applicant. The subject property is located at 110 Sunset Drive and legally described in Exhibit A of the proposed resolution as attached to your packet. The application was entered into the building permit allocation system on September 27, 2021. The application has been considered in 4 consecutive annual allocation periods and has failed to receive an allocation award. At the close of Q3 of 2025, the application was ranked 8th with 19 points. Pursuant to the requirements set forth in Code Section 3477A, the applicant was eligible to apply for administrative relief between 12:01 p.m. on October 1st, 2025 and 12 p.m. on January 29th, 2026. The applicant submitted the application for administrative relief on October 1st, 2025. The proposed development is one single-family, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, approximately 1,528 square feet. The site is approximately 7,035.5 square feet, with allowed clearing and mitigation based on habitat. And again, the analysis is in your packet as attached. Additional information provided by the applicant. The property owner has complied with all requirements in the building permit allocation system. The BPAS application has not been withdrawn at any time. The property owner has not applied for a deferral, and the applicant is seeking an allocation award. Remedies offered under the Code Section 30-477F. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Village Council may take any or a combination of the following actions. Grant the applicant an allocation award for all or part of the allocation requested in the next succeeding allocation period or extended pro rata over several succeeding allocation periods. Offer to purchase the property at its fair market value, or suggest such other relief as may be necessary and appropriate. The village currently has 14 allocations available for administrative relief. At this time, staff recommends awarding the administrative relief allocation to 110 Sunset Drive, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Anybody have anything, Jennifer? No? Ty, is this yours too? No. Okay. All right, so I guess
I
there's
believe,
no.
the homeowner is out of state right now, and I don't know that obviously he can't participate remotely, and he knew that. I don't know if he was able to send a representative, but he
That's what I
is
was
aware
looking
that it's
for.
happening tonight,
Okay.
and he had a medical issue and was not be able to come back to the state, so.
Okay, so let's move in favor.
There are none.
Opposed?
There are none.
Okay, council? Any comments? Do I have,
Let's be consistent, I move to approve.
I'll second.
Marnie?
Vice Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Yes.
Councilmember Ann Richards.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Jay?
Yep, and J and K are actually companion, and in the past, historically, we've normally taken them up together. If council would like to do that, I can read both titles together.
Is everybody okay with it?
I'm good.
All right, J is an ordinance of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, considering the request of Ty Harris, PA, agent for Jamie and Mike Snyder, to amend the village's future land use map from residential medium to mixed use for the subject property at 87469 Old Highway located on Plantation Key with real estate number 00413300-000000 as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date upon the approval of this department by the State Department of Commerce. Tab K is an ordinance of Islamorada Village of Islands, Florida, concerning the request of Ty Harris, PA, agent for Jamie and Mike Snyder, to amend the official zoning map from residential single-family R1 to highway commercial for the subject property at 87469 Old Highway located at on Plantation Key with real estate number 00413300-000000 as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date on the approval of this ordinance by the State Department of Commerce. And council, if you would please disclose your any ex parte communications you may have had, and when you do, if you would please let us know if they apply both to tabs J and K or if there are different ex partes for each one.
Okay, Deb?
Ty Harris, and yes, both ordinance.
Don?
Ty Harris on both.
Myself, Ty on both.
Tie on both.
Just a general text received.
Okay, okay.
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBovian, Planning Director for the Village of Islamorada. I'm here this evening to discuss ordinances to amend the future land use map from residential medium to mixed use and the zoning map from residential single family to highway commercial for the property located at 87469 Old Highway. Ty Harris, on behalf of the property owner, Jamie and Mike Snyder, have submitted both the applications to amend the future land use map again from residential medium to mixed use and the zoning map from residential single family to highway commercial. The subject property is located at 87469 Old Highway, real estate number 00413300-000000, comprising of 12,000 square feet. The current use of the property is a commercial business known as Island Air. The applicant's agent has submitted a needs analysis detailing both requests in your packet. The subject property currently has an existing residential medium FLUM land use designation. The properties to the north and west are designated residential medium. The properties to the south are designated mixed use. The properties to the east across Old Highway are designated residential high and residential low. And the character of the surrounding area is mixed use with residential and commercial uses. The property is scarified and contains no protected habitat. The property is not recognized as habitat to any state or federal listed animal species. Pursuant to the village's GIS data and records, the parcel is defined as hammock and scarified. The property currently has an existing residential single-family R1 zoning district. The properties to the north and west are designated residential single-family. The properties to the south are designated highway commercial. The properties to the east across Old Highway are designated residential estate and multifamily. The character of the surrounding area is mixed use with residential uses and commercial uses. The full analysis of both applications is in your packet. I could go through it all, but I'm actually here if you have any questions. And at this time, staff is recommending approval for both. The LPA reviewed both applications at a September 15th meeting and voted unanimously to recommend approval of both ordinances.
Anything for Jennifer before Ty gets up there again?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Well, Ty, go first.
Thank you. Ty Harris for the applicant. We all know this property is the Island Air property. And it's still kind of a mystery how a property that's been used for commercial for so long ended up being flumed and zoned for residential. So, yeah, I know, go figure. In our continuing quest together to right the wrongs, this falls into that same category. It's an existing business. It's operating as a legal nonconformity because of the R1 zoning. And it's just a simple request to fix the zoning to comply to what the business has been forever, which is Island Air. Any questions, I'm here to answer them, but it's pretty simple.
Anything for Ty? No? Okay. Don, do you want to ask your question now?
So Jamie,
Jennifer.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. I know this property well. 43 years ago, I put an addition on that house for Howard Stanley. It was a small, member Howie? And it's always been a single-family house, and I don't think it's ever had a change of use. I think it's good that we're changing this. I personally, when I was on the other side of the counter, changed the zoning on the 3 lots to the Keys south of that. And actually got a recommended denial first from the planning director back then, and the council still saw my arguments and changed that. So when this changes to mixed use and commercial, there's gonna have to be a change of use actually done on the building and the accessory building, I think, because I don't think on the record there's ever been a CO that's issued on the residential unit that's there to turn it into commercial. So that would, if it does turn into something that's totally commercial with the proper zoning and all, then we would need to legitimize the commercial recognition of that building, right?
That's correct, and we would work with the building official to do that.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything?
You done? Are you done?
I'm done. Well,
Motion to approve?
And I'll second.
oh,
Public comment, did we do?
we have to do
Forgot
in
about that.
favor, but they're just anxious. Any in favor?
No, ma'am.
And not in favor.
Mr. Wishmeyer.
Mr. Wishmeyer,
I changed my mind.
you changed your mind. So is anyone else?
There's no one else.
Well, I will say that gentleman's in the same boat I was in, so it's a boat we need to sink. Go ahead.
I was just going to remind you, we're going to need 2 motions because there's 2 separate ordinances.
Okay, so let's make, you want to redo your motion for the first one? Who was it?
Motion to approve J and K?
Just one at a time.
Oh, J.
And second on Jay?
I'll second.
Okay, Marnie, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, a motion on K.
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Marnie?
Vice Mayor Don Horton?
Yes.
Councilmember Anna Richards?
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman?
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis?
Yes.
And to Mayor Sharon Mahoney?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, now, John, we're moving to L.
Yep, L is an ordinance of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, amending policy 3-2.12, specific standards and requirements for workforce affordable housing, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date upon approval of this ordinance by the State Department of Commerce. And council, if you can disclose any ex parte communications.
Before you do
may
that, this is a companion, the next one is a companion article with this one.
Oh, it is? Oh.
It is, yeah.
Okay, well, council, would you like to take, that's good, L and M together then?
Yes.
L&M.
Okay. M is an ordinance of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, amending Village Code Sections 30-476, building permit allocation, evaluation criteria and award, providing for the transmittal of this ordinance to the State Department of Commerce, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date upon approval of this ordinance by the State Department of Commerce.
Okay,
And
now,
now it's fine.
communication. Deb, on either?
Tie.
Don? Die on both?
Yes.
Okay.
Tie.
On both?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. He
Sounds like we're
talks a lot.
ordering
He talks
Chinese
a lot,
food.
yeah.
Die on both?
Tie on both?
Tie text.
Tie text.
Okay. Now, Ty, would you like to come up and say anything before we start?
He's already said it.
Would you like me to
I
do
don't
my
know.
presentation?
He's up here so much.
Wait, Ty, staff hasn't gone yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Sit down.
sit down, sit back down.
Good evening, Council. Jennifer DeBovian, Planning Director. So this is a second reading on both the ordinance to amend policy 3.212 and the ordinance 30-476. This revolves around the removal of the V-zone from the workforce affordable housing allocations that we had on first reading a few months ago. So this will be second reading. The one thing to note is when we rendered this to the Department of Commerce between first and second reading, we did receive an objection, recommendation, and comment report. That is in your packet as well. After receiving that report, we submitted in your packet a draft response with what we believe is there enough information to address their objections regarding what they objected to. So we're comfortable submitting this for second reading and then resubmitting it, rendering it to Commerce for approval. So I'm here if you have any questions. I would like to just acknowledge that as Ty represents the developer who instigated this project, he was instrumental in helping with the response that that we were doing to Commerce, because it's basically for his client. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
So can you, for the people who didn't see it,
Sure.
can you tell us what the objection from the Department of Commerce was?
Yeah, so our first objection was that our recommendation lacked, or that our vote lacked had internal inconsistency and lacked data and analysis. They wanted us to provide relevant and appropriate data analysis to evaluate the impacts of affordable workforce housing allocations of V-zones and coastal barrier resource systems, and that we would ensure that the amendment is consistent with all elements of the comprehensive plan. So what we did was we, first of all, we left the coastal barrier resource systems in the code and the comp plan, so that wiped that piece of it out. So we're only removing the V-zone portion of it now. And then we provided them with a housing study that was done. The most recent one I think that we could find was from 2007. I know that doesn't seem very recent, but I don't believe there was another one that was done more recent than that. So we provided them with that to make the argument of why workforce housing is desperately needed here in Monroe County, and particularly in the village of Islamorada, and why this will help us create those goals or achieve those goals. So we did that, and I think, what else did we do? I'm trying to look. I think that's mostly what we did. We were submitting them some maps. We talked about the project that's being proposed, so we addressed many of their questions, and most of it was data and analysis that will probably bore most of the people here.
So let me just ask you a question. If we're voting on this, what happens if we vote yes and they say no?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but
Well, yeah, you
I
are.
believe
Come
that
on.
it would, you can respond.
Yeah, I mean, there's a legal process where we could challenge that, should the village so decide. So if they deny it, I mean, we'll have to see what the basis would be, and if there's
Just
a
wondering.
legal basis to challenge it. Right now, based on everything they've said, we think we've got it covered.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, there are legal options.
Okay, all right. Are you going up again? Are you tired of getting up now?
Never. Again, Ty Harris, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you on this. This is the Hooley Affordable. This is the last step for 42 brand-new affordable allocations. And when we saw the ORC, we call it an ORC report, objections, recommendations, and comments report, we all kind of scratched our heads collectively about what could they possibly be objecting to. This seems to be a trend right now with the Department of Commerce. I think what was the number, Don, and you and I were talking about, they've objected to over 150 applications, but out of those 150, they've actually only gone to hearing on 3 of them. So there seems to be a pattern in practice, mostly because they don't like SB 180, and really none of us really like SB 180, so they keep citing to SB 180 as one reason to object. And in our case, they pointed out something that is a little confusing, which is this is not a secret, every comprehensive plan contains internal inconsistencies, because on one hand, we have a section that were required by the state to protect private property rights. And on the other hand, we have a section from Area Critical State Concern, we must protect the environment. Those in many cases are internally inconsistent provisions. And we grapple with that every time we're up here when we talk about that, finding that balance, right? We give somebody a right to build, but we request a conservation easement. That's where we strike the balance. And so what Jennifer and I did, we poured through the studies that would make Department of Commerce happy. The 2007 Affordable Housing Study established the need for affordable housing. And hey, we may never get to 1,300 or whatever the number is, but 42 is a lot closer than where we are right now. And they're new construction. We also pointed out that any kind of residential, including affordable housing, if it wasn't tied to the early out program, could be built on this property. This restriction only went to the early outs, which makes no sense because the first people out are the people in here, just like the tourists. So again, a head scratcher. We found another study with the help of Barbara Powell that dealt with kind of hurricane evacuation. Let's put it this way. We're giving them 600 plus pages of data and analysis for them to choke on. And it's just frustrating because when you get these objections, recommendations, and comments reports, they usually make sense. And the ones we're getting back, just like everybody else, don't seem to be making a lot of sense. It looks like a very amateur reading of our comprehensive plan and not understanding what actually the Village of Islamorada is and what the village is about. So when you tell us we have to have affordable housing and we're trying to do that, and then you tell us, well, it doesn't work because now you're in the V zone, which FEMA's already addressed with how you construct in a V zone. Again, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but it is extremely frustrating. And thank you to Jennifer for how much work we worked on this to get this resolved. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Okay, Marnie, let's start in favor.
There are none.
And now not in favor.
Joe Wishmeyer.
Yes, Joe Wishmeyer, Plantation Key. We all know how much devastation happens, especially along a coastline, when we have the H word that we don't like to use here in the Keys. So I don't know why we would be trying to put 42, especially affordable housing units, which means these are people who can't necessarily afford market rates, and also they're already behind the 8 ball a little bit. Nobody's saying that we don't need affordable housing. It'd be great to take this project and just move it inland somewhere. But to take and offer to put stuff in V zones where we know there's going to be mass destruction, I don't care what the code says. Let's look and see what's happened here recently. You know, when we've had storms come up on the ocean side and all the devastation there. So I don't see why we would encourage people to be doing the building in the V zone. Secondly, if the Department of Commerce kind of objected to the first reading, how can we be doing a second reading now? Shouldn't we be going back and doing a first reading again that might get their approval and then come back to a second reading? I think that's more of a legal issue, and I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Marnie, who else is it in favor?
Sue Miller.
Okay.
Sue Miller, representing the Islamorada Community Alliance. The original requirements from Governor Scott for the 300 allocations after Hurricane Irma had restrictions. Rentals only, multiple family, on-site manager, V-zone. The no V-zone was an original requirement of the state when the allocations were awarded. If you eliminate this requirement, why not eliminate all of them? Are you jeopardizing the 300 allocations that they gave you with those stipulations? Or do you think you can just sneak one in without them objecting? There are others that create problems of one kind or another. The multi-family on site management, why not eliminate them all if you think that it's okay? The state required this limitation when they gave us the 300 allocations. They objected to the change. Are we jeopardizing those 300? It really makes me nervous. Are we kidding ourselves about what this community really needs? Our code says folks qualify for affordable homes if they make up to 140% of the median income. That's $165,000 with rental limits over $3,000 a month. Is this what we desperately need, or do we need to fix other portions of our code first? If you live on the ocean like I do, you probably love it for many reasons, and you don't love it for even more reasons. I live in a home near the ocean, not in a V zone, It's elevated well above the base flood elevation and built by a builder for his own use to standards above those required. Yet I can tell you, being near the ocean is extremely costly, not the extra expense you want to put affordable housing owners through. Resiliency is critical. Cost is critical. This change is in direct conflict with the numerous comp plan policies and objectives, and the State Department of Commerce objected. Why would you ignore the objections of the state planning experts and call them immature changes? And your own comp plan has policies that say restrict future infrastructure in the coastal high hazard area. Why? Policy to limit public expenditures. Policies to avoid population concentrations in the coastal high hazard. Policy to restrict development in coastal high hazard areas that should include, and that includes FEMA velocity zones. Using a single property on Windley Key as justification seems a little odd. This lot is just under 1 acre. I know that it'll be combined with the adjoining motel to get to 3 acres, but the 42 planned units will be on the currently vacant 1 acre. Can you imagine 42 units on this tiny property with the ocean setback and a street setback? Not at all what we envision as a low-density community. Highest density for that property of motel units would be 6, or affordable housing without combining the 2 lots would be 14. The other property, remember, is fully developed. So these homes will all be on a 1 acre site. And that lot is all fill. It used to be a channel between 2 umbrella islands that were filled to create a single island, Windley Key. Tough to build resilient 42-unit building on top of fill. When will we stop using a ridiculously outdated affordable housing study from 2007 to justify a totally new environment as far as affordable housing is concerned? I just hope you reject this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Marnie, anybody else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Council? Does anybody have any questions or comments? Deb, do you want to say something?
No, I was just going to make a motion.
Ty, this property is that where the pipeline people used, correct?
Yeah.
And so next door to that is a hotel, and next door to that is a hotel, and the next door to that's a trailer park. So they're all already there and already built.
Right.
And if they have to meet building codes, they have to build in a V zone higher up, am I wrong?
1 foot above the base flood.
Anything that
See,
goes there.
I learned something.
Right. Any building that goes there is going to have to meet the same building code requirements. I mean, we could put a hotel there, and then I'd hear complaints about we're adding more hotel rooms because we could take the hotel rooms over at SD Marine and move them over there right now.
Yeah.
And then we'd hear complaints about that. You know, that you can never win sometimes. And, you know, when we talk about projects on fill, Venetian Shores, jokingly called Vanishing Shores, is all fill. A lot of Lower Mat is all fill. So it's not an uncommon thing because up until the 70s, you could still fill. And that's what people did to enlarge their properties, and they did it with the state's blessing. It wasn't until like 1981 that the state reversed course and said, fill's a bad thing, you know, no more fill permits. And so that's kind of that beginning of 1980 is when the change started happening, if I remember correctly, my history of build and fill and build in Florida. But we need the affordable housing. I made these comments on another application. If we're not going to be serious about affordable housing, then you know what, just scrap the darn thing, and then let's start coming up with a strategy to ensure that we have a continuing workforce that can live in Homestead and Florida City. I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves, because this is the best chance to put new construction. You know, the other opportunities we're going to have are going to be converting existing hotel units into affordable housing. This is a purpose-built project made for one bedroom, primarily one bedroom units, but some two bedrooms as well. And yeah, a lot of the people that work in those hotels probably going to be living there, which is great, because then they don't have to get on a bus. But again, that's a conversation for maybe another day. But if we're going to, you know, kind of pull back and say, you know, we really don't want affordable housing, then let's be honest and have that conversation.
Did you want to say something, Tom?
I just, reminder that we do now have to build 1 foot above the base flood elevation. So whatever V zone that is, they're going to be at least 1 foot higher than that. That we designed at a minimum of 180 mile an hour wind now, that that an engineer has to take into account the combined forces of wind and wave when you're designing a structure like this. The parking is going to be underneath, so there's no illegal below flood enclosures or mother-in-law apartments or storage rooms that you've got to worry about. The idea of being in the V zone for the way that the code is written now, I think is archaic. And I think this is a great thing that we're finally moving things around so that we can actually get somebody that's willing to go in and develop a real affordable housing project. Today I was sitting at the Trading Post looking at that building that Buddy Collins just built. It's a fortress, and it's great that he's building those affordable housing units there, and I think we should be proud, and we should be encouraged to try to build our affordable housing stock up. So I think this is great. And if the Department of Commerce doesn't want us to start building affordable housing and move our code around to where we can do that, then shame on them.
Well, then we'll just go with a hotel. And then when I get up here to talk about a site plan for a hotel, I get to hear all the same stuff.
Deb, did you want to say something?
No, I was waiting, I was going to make a motion.
Well, Anna, do
You
you
had
want to say
comment.
anything? You guys ready to make a motion?
No,
I mean, I don't think any of us really want to see building, but
Jennifer.
it's the world. We don't have much choice.
Well, and they have to build with the specific
I see
standards,
Jennifer.
so.
Okay, now, go ahead, Jennifer.
I just wanted to note that prior to between first and second reading, staff also did an analysis at the request of the Department of Commerce of all the parcels in the Village of Islamorada that may be affected by this change based on zoning and location, and there were 4, 3 of them on Winley Key and 1 in Plantation Key.
Okay. Anything else, Steve? Do you want to say anything?
I believe that people that would be living there would also be the first to evacuate
Early
as well,
outs.
right?
Yeah,
Early
early
outs,
out.
yes.
So they would get out before any sort of
Yes.
possible devastation that may occur. So I'm happy with that.
All right, so now, did you want to make a motion?
I was going to make the motion, but I was just waiting. So I'll make a motion to approve the comprehensive plan item, which is L.
Do I have a
correct?
second?
Second,
On L.
on
All
L,
right.
On
Mar-
L.
2L.
Marnie, you want to call the roll, please?
Councilmember Deb Gillis,
Yes.
Councilmember Ann Richards.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton,
Yes.
and Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so now we're going to M. Do I have a motion on?
May I make a comment about L? There was a typo in part of this.
Yes, I
did-
have the typos.
Did you? Did
I haven't
you?
corrected it yet, but I have the note to correct them.
Okay. Never mind.
So do I have a motion for M?
I'll make a motion to approve M as written, which is the ordinance that goes along with them.
Second.
Marnie?
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Councilmember Ann Richards.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Don Horton,
Yes.
and Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Okay. N,
Yep, last but not least is N, a resolution of the Village Council of Isla Mirada Village of Islands, Florida, considering administrative appeal of number PLPRE 20250056, filed by Ty Harris, PA, agent for Boy Scouts of America, appellant relating to a dwelling unit determination by the Director of Planning for property located at 73800 Overseas Highway, having real estate number 00097710-000000 on Lower Matacumbe Key, as legally described herein, providing for the transmittal of this resolution to the State Department of Commerce and providing for an effective date upon the approval of this resolution from the State Department of Commerce. And Council, if you'd please disclose any ex parte communications.
Deb?
I talked to Ty Harris and I talked to Keith Douglas.
Don?
I talked to Mike Johnson, Ty Harris, Keith Douglas.
Okay, I only talked to Ty. Anna?
Ty Harris, Mike Johnson, and Keith Douglas.
Steve?
Same answer as before. Ty Harris, text.
Okay. Would this be Rob?
That would be me. All right, good evening, Council. Rob Mather, Review Engineer. We're here for the administrative appeal of dwelling unit determination for 73800 Overseas Highway. This property is within the public, semi-public services zoning district. The agent, Ty Harris, has requested a dwelling unit determination on behalf of the Boy Scouts of America in May of 2025. The request was for the recognition of at least 10 transient units associated with the former Tollgate Inn, which was in existence from approximately mid-1950s to approximately 1980, at the time when the Boy Scouts purchased and occupied the property. The appellant has previously held a pre-application conference with the village, PC-17-07. The resulting summary letter dated June 1st, 2018 states that the village confirmed the approximate existing conditions. Total of 1 market rate residential dwelling unit and 14 residential institutional dwelling units on the property. Permit number C-10881 issued by the county in 1982 was identified in this letter, which authorized the conversion of the 10-unit motel into a 10-unit staff/facility quarters. Staff has made the determination that the criteria in section 30-473D have not been met for the requested transient units, resulting in the determination that no existing transient units are available for use on the property. I have the complete analysis of the determination, which is in the packet. That letter is dated August 5th, 2025. We were unable to find areas in criteria 1 or 2 which would satisfy the recognition of the requested units. If there are any questions, I'm available. Please let me know.
Anybody have anything for Rob?
Not right now. No.
Not right now.
Yeah, Rob, were there any record gaps here? Was there anything where storm, you couldn't find any records, or do we have a good timeline in this?
That's a good question. So we do know that the Tollgate Inn was in existence from the 50s to the 80s, or to approximately 1980. We do have building permit records, starting in 1982, that specifically authorized the conversion of the transient units to residential institutional units. And same thing, so there was one building which had 10 transient units that was converted. There was another one that was converted later down the line in 1988 for 4 transient units into non-residential floor area. That was in 1988. So we do have records.
Rob, I got a question for you.
Mike. Mike.
Sorry, Rob, I got a question for you.
Yep.
The building that was converted, is that the building that is parallel to Tollgate Boulevard? Is that the one you're talking about?
So I think the easiest way to do this, that way we're all on the same page, if we go into the packet, if we look at the historic permits, it's on page 119 of 132. There was a site plan that was filed with the county. It kind of lays out what was there in the early 1990s.
119, page 119. Let me get there. Thanks for numbering these two. That helps a lot.
Got it.
You got it. And this one actually has a black strip along the bottom, so it doesn't show the page number, but find 118 or 120 and you're almost there.
Got it.
Okay.
So if you look in the bottom left, it shows a 10-unit building, staff housing with 10 parking spaces existing, and then it's got a leader. It's kind of the angled building, so it's not exactly parallel to Tollgate Boulevard.
Yeah. That was the building that was converted?
That is correct.
Okay, what the building that's kind of L-shaped as you travel down Tollgate Boulevard, that's kind of L-shaped. What is that building?
As you're on Overseas Highway, you go into Tollgate, the building in the top right corner.
Yes.
That's participant housing. I believe that was part of the site plan approval in the early 90s, but that was not part of this request.
Okay, but, so at this point, all they're asking for is what?
So the request was for at least 10 transient units.
Okay. When you were reviewing this, did you review all of the buildings and all of the permits that were issued? And the history of that piece of property?
Yes, we went through, we looked at the relevant buildings. There was something like 130 different permit records in our system. So we didn't go through every single one directly, but we looked at the ones that were specifically related to the request. And those would be where it says the ship store and the 10-unit building. Those were the two that were identified as former Tollgate Inn transients.
Don, are you done? Do you have anything, Aaron?
For now, yeah.
Deb, anything for Rob?
No, right this minute.
Okay, so Rob, thank you. Ty?
Thank you.
That's the one they're asking for. This is the one I was looking at.
Again, Ty Harris for the record. And I want to clarify, because I guess it was confusing, we were actually asking for recognition of 4, which is the conversion of the 4 remaining in 1988 that became the ship store. And I will explain how we got from 14 to 4. But this has been a very, very interesting exercise. And again, as I stated last month, I really think we need to amend the code to give staff a few more tools to use in making these determinations, because it puts everybody in an awkward spot when we have to appeal because they can't find under the code that units are available. And if anything, we should be trying to find units that are available because we don't have any more units.
Right.
That being said, I don't ever use these, but today I'm going to try my best to walk you through it. So this is a portion of the denial letter that we received from the village that I thought was kind of interesting to start with.
Before you move into that, may I ask a question?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
you said something at the beginning. So I understood that we were trying to approve or look at appeal 10 units. You said 4.
Right. So when we first started this process, we were looking at the original Tollgate Inn.
Right.
Then when we started working through the process with planning, we started to focus more on a compromise where the 4 units that are now the ship store was a more defensible position and a more reasonable compromise than asking for the 10 from Tollgate Inn. And I'll kind of explain how we got there.
So what are you asking for?
We're asking for
or 10?
4.
You're only asking for 4.
Only asking for 4.
Okay.
And the 4 specifically we're asking for are the ones that are now the ship store that were converted in 1988.
Yeah, I understand where that, or what that's about, but that's not what I was led to believe.
I'm sorry for that confusion, because,
okay.
like I said, when we were going through the process, there was a second discussion about the other 4, and we were still denied. But our intent was always, after that, to just focus on the 4 and leave the original Tollgate Inn alone. So when you look at the letter, the first thing that stuck out to us was this policy that the village is focusing on of new transient units. we're not asking for recognition of new transient units, we're asking for recognition of existing hotel units. So I'm not quite sure that that policy would apply, but I understand why, staff would put that in the letter. The second part I thought was important was further down. The requested transient units were legally converted via permits from Monroe County prior to 1990. Therefore, the surveys and aerials are unable to clearly show the existence of these requested units. This goes to the 10-unit hotel, which was the original part of Tollgate Inn. The original 10 units were in one building, and that's what that was. And that relates to a permit that's identified by the village as permit C10881, which was issued in 1982. And this is important because that permit does have on it, it says conversion from hotel to dorm housing. And it lists $22,000 worth of improvements to actually make that happen. And an important part of that discussion is something Deb and I actually talked about today, about when did ROGO come into effect? Because that date is critical to this discussion. ROGO came into effect in 1986. So in 1982, we were kind of trying, how can you cross the streams? How can you mix ROGO exempt allocations from ROGO counted? But in 1982, nobody was counting anything. But it was just a building permit. It didn't have any seal of any, there was no planning file, there's no planning notes. It was just the conversion. So still a question about the original 10. But what we got into a little bit further, and because it's more fun to look at pictures, is it the middle button that I press? Right. That's good. This is the one of the several listings for the Tollgate Inn at the time. And this is important. There were 3 of them. I found one from Holiday Isle as a realtor that was listing it, and this one kind of showed the property at the time that the Boy Scouts purchased it. And so the question was, what did they actually purchase? And why is that relevant now? So what they purchased was a hotel with 14 recognized units. And the village, we're not arguing, nobody's contesting that there were 14 units on the property. That's established through building permits. They also bought a 4,600 square foot restaurant with seating for over 150. They bought a 100-slip marina. And funny enough, they also bought a transferable liquor license with package sales. Go Boy Scouts. So that's what they bought. They didn't buy Seabase. They bought a commercial property, a commercial venture that was operating and had operated since the 50s. That's what they bought. So what is the next thing that happens in this kind of line of approvals and building permits? And we've already gone over the permit in 1982 before ROGO. Well, the next thing that happens is a major conditional use approval in 1989. So now ROGO has been in place for 3 years. Now we're counting. Now we're counting units. Everything counts now, like Depeche Mode said, in large amounts. But that's for people that know old 80s music. So this is what the approval in 1989 said. The county recognized 40,597 square feet of commercial space. They approved housing for 120 camp participants. They approved housing for 20 staff members. They approved a special activities building for 600 square feet, a conference and multi-use space for 4,900, a storage building for 4,200, and they said, you got to have a sewer treatment plant. That back in the day of the package plants. And so, okay, that's what was approved. So again, where are the hotels? The mystery, where are the hotels? These are the conditions of approval. And so when they received permission for all of this stuff, Rogo's been in place. These are the 11 or 12, 11 conditions that were put on this approval. I'm not going to read them all to you, but if you take a quick glance, you will not see anywhere in there the word hotel. They were not, because they were not required to give up hotel allocations as part of the major conditional use, and there's a reason for that. The reason is Rogo. I've put up one more. This is the county code, boo. And this is the existing code, but it hasn't changed. And this is talking about development that's exempt from Rogo. Institutional uses are exempt from Rogo. So when they approved in 1989, 120 beds and 20 spots for the counselors, those are called Rogo exempt. Just like the hospital is Rogo exempt. Just like dorm housing down in Key West for the College of the Florida Keys is exempt. Just like the assisted living facility up here at Islamorada is exempt. These are all exempt from Rogo. So there's a reason why the hotel isn't discussed in this, because hotel units are Rogo counted, BPAS counted, and dorm space and dorm rooms are not. So that's why they're not talked about. But it doesn't mean they went away. And clearly, the 4 that were converted in 1988, which is 2 years after Rogo, should have been counted, which is why I make it an argument for 4 instead of the 10, because I'm not quite sure that I'm on as good a legal footing on the 10, but I feel darn good about the 4, because Rogo's in place, they should have been counted. And they should still be recognized as units that are transient that can be sold by the Boy Scouts to pay for improvements at Seabase. I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk about, or it's not cogent to the argument about, well, why do they need the money? Well, the money is so that they can put in they have a plan to put in a coral restoration portion, and they want to get involved in restoring the reef like everybody else. So that will fund, that's what that's for. That's why it's important. That will fund it. And then, because you know I love movies, I thought of a movie that kind of made sense for this. Ghostbusters. Don't cross the streams. It would be bad. What that means is that you can't start mixing Rogo counted and Rogo exempt allocations. And we know that what happened in 1982 with the building permit, Rogo wasn't there. So maybe that was possible. But it was not possible in 1988. It is not possible. Those units should have been counted because they were still standing 2 years after Rogo. And so when it was taken down and converted to a ship store, those allocations didn't go away. They're still there. They're still in the property. Just like a liquor license doesn't, just because you're not using a liquor license doesn't make it go away. We all know that. So it's an entitlement. It's something that they bought when they purchased the property that they're still entitled to. And that pretty much sums up my presentation.
Anybody have anything for Ty before? And I know what you're going to ask. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna correct you, Ty.
Yeah.
Rogo didn't come into effect until June 10th of 1992. The comprehensive plan was under appeal, and we accepted the 90% plan, but Rogo didn't come into effect in 1992. That doesn't harm your argument whatsoever, but I can tell you that we did not have Rogo until June 10th of 1992. But I still completely agree that that pre-Rogo, there was no importance of attaching what units were what and what was going to be built, and they didn't count those things. And the permit that was issued to convert a hotel to something else, they wouldn't have like gotten rid of, or not gotten rid of, you didn't swap one for the other back then, because it was pre-Rogo.
Yep. So I Googled when Rogo started in the county,
Yeah.
and it told me 1986.
Well, don't trust it. That's when the comp plan was adopted.
So that's where that information came
September
from.
15th
So
of 1986.
I apologize if I don't have that right, because I looked it up through Google, because I hate the county code, no offense. And so I Google a lot of county code
The comp plan
references.
was under appeal, and that was
That's
the 90% was the 90% of the plan was being enacted,
Right.
adopted.
And I agree.
But the other part wasn't until they settled.
It doesn't change the analysis as far
It does
as,
not. No,
as the
doesn't.
units, that they bought the units and they didn't sell. We don't have any evidence that they've sold the units or transferred them off. They still have those units.
Right.
So thanks for clarifying that in darn Google. But Google it yourself and see what it pops up. 1986 is what it says.
Anybody have anything else for Ty before we move on? No? Okay. All right, so Marnie, in favor?
I would like to clarify that these folks are in favor of the appeal.
Of the appeal.
Okay, all right. So first up is Mike Johnson.
Hi, good evening. Mike Johnson. I'm the general manager of the Sea Base. I live and work on the Sea Base. And out of this whole process, perhaps the most exciting thing is learning that we may have a liquor license. I'm attempting to bring some levity into this.
You may need it after the meeting tonight.
I may. I've got plans, Don. So, as we've said this evening, when the Boy Scouts of America bought the Toll Gate Inn in 1979, they paid market rate for a property that had 14 hotel units in 2 different buildings. The 10, which are almost parallel to Toll Gate Inn, and then 4 that were closer to the water, that at some point in time were converted into a ship store, and then approximately, probably about would have been 2005 or so, that was demolished. But again, had 14 hotel units, a bar and a restaurant, a dock, and a marina. Our perspective, my perspective is that just because we didn't use those 14 hotel units doesn't mean those rights went away. And because they weren't counted when the list was made doesn't mean those rights went away. I'm not a lawyer, but as I read the building permit that has been referenced for the renovation, it simply was repairing an age-old building, those 10 units, to make it more habitable for staff that were already living there. That's my perspective on that. We initially inquired about the 10 hotel units and were told by the staff that because those 10 units were still in existence and being used, we were told by the village staff that because those 10 units were still in existence and being used by staff, that we couldn't receive or have those rights reinstated. So we changed based upon that feedback. And we are instead requesting recognition of our rights for 4 hotel units that were on the property when it was purchased and were on the property once Rogo came into play. We really believe this is pretty fair and reasonable. We're not making an argument for 10. We're not making an argument for 14. We're saying 4. We're asking for 4 to be recognized. And yes, we do have some capital needs at the base, one of which is to build a coral nursery. We have a highly successful coral nursery at our second location on Summerlin Key at the Britain Environmental Center. We grow about 15 to 20,000 corals a year. Scouts and staff help in that whole process, and then we plant them out there on the reef as part of Mission Iconic Reef. We are part of that. We're recognized as a partner. We have a whole scuba diving program there at Sea Base Islamorada, and this would be part of that. So we have shared this with the neighbors. I've shared it verbally as well as via email, exactly what I've presented to you. And I had 5 different neighbors that received the notice, Ed Gallagher, Sue and Wally Whitley, Joe Campbell, and Bill and Annie Boyd, who all came back, or Bond, all came back and said they're in favor. So that's our perspective. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Marnie, who's next?
Next is Keith Douglas.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and honorable members of the Village of Monroe City Village Council and staff as well. First of all, thank you for what you have been doing in previous councils for affordable housing. I couldn't resist the opportunity to thank you because it's really something that's so important and so needed. I had the pleasure over the years, first of all, I'm definitely in favor of this. There's no question we're being as fair as we think possible. We're living by the Scout Oath and law in what we're asking, in my opinion. But also, I was part of watching the various projects that staff actually helped, for sure, help with getting it going. And building the scuba complex, for example, and converting and repairing those 10 hotelians, and renovating and building a whole new pier at the sea base. All these are very positive things, and I was part of the meeting where the heads of Moat Marine came to Islamorada saying, we want to expand what we're doing down there in the Britain Environmental Center. And it made me really excited that we could be doing that up here too. And that's where these funds would be going. So you already heard the technical stuff, so I don't need to go over any of that. But I would hope that you would consider that we do still have some value that can help bring some more improvements here to our young people and to the Village of Islamorada. Thank you again for your public service.
Thank you very much. Marnie, anybody else in favor?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll go for not in favor.
Sue Miller.
Sue Miller, I have nothing to say. I read a completely different application than what I'm hearing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay.
There's no one else opposed. Mr. Richmeyer, I'd like to speak in neutral.
Do we have a category for neutral?
Let's make.
We do now.
Let's make.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does say neutral on there.
Go ahead.
Because when it comes to some of these administrative appeals, you never know. We've been through this time and time again. My name is Joe Wishmeyer in Plantation Key. I can speak firsthand a lot about Florida Sea Base. I happen to know these gentlemen over here, that bald-headed guy, the guy that hired me in 1989. I ran my sailboat for 30 years. When I first started, there was only 7 sailboats in the program. To help out with so many kids across the country, they have expanded and continued to provide experiences, life-changing experiences to these young kids. I still get letters today from some Eagle Scouts thanking me for the adventure that they had down at Sea Base. So they do so much good down there for not only the Boy Scouts, but for the community. They add a lot of stuff to it. I wouldn't want to see anything happen that would take away their opportunity or any opportunities for them to expand. I think this coral restoration is a great way to continue education for a lot of the young people. I remember we used to have reef balls. We made a whole bunch of reef balls and put them out there, and it created a wonderful artificial reef. We didn't have to use ships or anything like that. We had actual concrete balls with balls in them that got busted. Anyway, there was lots of lobster and all. So I hope that you see it fit to give the Boy Scouts what they need so that they can continue to operate and continue to offer an I've had kids from in the middle of the country never even seen the ocean before. And we put them on a 41-foot sailboat. They jump in the water, and the first thing they meet, a barracuda. It's like, oh my God, you'd think it was Moby Dick, but to hear them and to see them turn into a squid and leave a brown trail back to the boat. By the end of the week, they're chasing them. That's how good a program it is down there. So let's do what we can to keep it operating. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I just want to go on record in saying that staff has no issue with the Boy Scouts operation as a whole, and we also think that they do good things for the community, where we have to follow the code, and that's what we did here. So I don't want anybody to get the impression that we have anything against the Boy Scouts.
Okay, thank you. No worries. Council?
So, staff is constantly seems to be put in this position to where our regulations almost require them, unless there is just in-your-face documentation
Yeah.
by permitting or some other governmental thing that makes them say, oh yeah, it's there. And so we seem to face this a lot, but it's obvious to me that knowing the history of the tollgate Inn, the Boy Scouts, and that the work that's done there and the permitting that was done there, and I think I issued that permit for the dive tank when they tore down the other building. So I completely agree that there's a total difference between the way they looked at things before Rogo and after Rogo. So I would move to rule in favor of the appellant,
Which is how many units?
4.
which is 4 units.
4.
Yes,
And-
4
In the-
transient units.
4 transient units, yes, ma'am.
Yes, and the only reason I asked that question is because when I had the discussion, I thought we were talking about the 10 units. So I'm royally confused on how that happened, but they tried to explain it to a degree. Unless there's other conversation, I will second this.
Anybody have anything else?
Can you clarify in your motion that they're wet transient units since have shoreline?
Yeah.
Yes, wet
Yes.
transient units, yes.
Yes.
Did you guys want to say anything before?
Yeah, I sympathize with the Boy Scouts and would love to see that facility continue to thrive and improve. I myself am of a Life Scout. This really has nothing to do with, with any of that. We're here for testimony, and I happen to support the staff's findings here. Again, as Don alluded to, it's very difficult for them. They have to go according to the code. And so I just kind of look at things like, when I believe the village capped the number of transient units in December of 2001, and, there was ample opportunity for the owner of that property to come in and list those units, and that wasn't done. So, I think for me, that's one of the reasons why I'm going to find with the staff's recommendation.
Do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, other than that, they're just doing good things, and we need to keep correcting things that have fallen through the wayside. And
Mayor, can
Yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you, I personally went into the village trying to get lawfully established for hotel rights or transient rights for a piece of property down in Lower Matacumbe. This was, Ty was actually planning director. I had documentation and licensing on a piece of property that had gone back 10 years. Most current, a year before I walked in there, all the way back into the 80s. I was originally denied, not by Ty, but by the village's attorney back then, because I wasn't on some nebulous list. They had a list of hotels that they recognized as hotels. I looked at that list, I went through that list, and I found 5 other hotels that were currently operational hotels that the village documentation had completely missed. So when they did when they made this list, they were completely off. And I think this is Islamorada Hotel, actually, motel was actually one of them. The sign is still there, and those units did not go away on that piece of property. They actually pulled a permit to demo those. They've been gone for probably 15 years, maybe a little longer. But the village didn't even have that. They didn't have the one behind Puerto Vallarta that's back all the way back on the Ragged Edge. That was not on their list. It's a long operating hotel. So the village's list, by my personal knowledge, was completely remiss. So it's real easy for them to have missed the tollgate Inn if they could miss some that are actually operating. So I stand by my motion.
And again, we
earlier tonight with the properties that were zoned residential that are really commercial. We have some issues, and I do feel bad for the staff. They're just following the code, but until we can fix all this stuff, we're almost penalizing people who shouldn't be penalized.
I think we should be glad that we continue to revisit this.
I agree with you. So, do I
So that
have,
people don't lose their rights. and
I
their
have a
lot-
motion and a second,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Marnie, would you please call the roll? Am I right, John? For looking like
Yes.
you're lost.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, who was the second?
I was.
Deb was.
He had that look like,
And if
what?
you want me to caveat that based on the testimony that we heard tonight.
Yeah,
That's fine.
everything is based
Yes.
upon the
Yes, sir.
testimony evidence presented.
Right, okay.
Marnie, please?
Okay, Councilmember
Yeah,
Vice
no.
Mayor Don Horton.
Yes.
Councilmember Deb Gillis.
Yes.
Councilmember Steve Friedman.
Well, I appreciate that explanation. I'm still a no.
Councilmember Ann Richards.
Yes.
And Mayor Sharon Mahoney.
Yes.
The motion passes 4-1.
Okay. That's the end, but before we leave, Monday, 5:30, wastewater. So I just want to remind everybody.
And the agenda is posted on the website.
Okay, and so with that, do I have anybody want to leave?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you.
Awfully early.